live. I think we are live. Let's wait for a couple of people to join in. Morning, Matt. Well, not morning anymore. It's afternoon. So today's live Q&A will be with the Grad Fest. So they have basically started this fantastic page, and they get... There we go. Go.
Hello.
Oh,
How are you?
I'm okay, thank you. How are you?
I'm not too bad, not too bad.
Good. I was just explaining who you guys are, but I suppose you can do that for yourself. So do you want to have a little...
Who are we? So we are a new company now, an LTD limited company. And it was our aim really we started off as just a place for graduates to kind of get involved and do some things together, whether it was rehearsed readings or some live classes led by grads. And then it picked up very quickly, and we got a lot of response from graduates, but also industry professionals who really enjoyed what we were doing, previous grads, all sorts of people. And it got to the point where we were like, okay, whatever we're doing is working. Whatever this is working. And up until now, well, from what we could see, there wasn't a single event or company that focused on using graduates, which I don't know why that's not the case, because graduates are fantastic and sometimes they just need that push or something to get them seen or put them in a show or a cabaret, because we're just as good as the rest of them sometimes. And we just wanted to say, here's the grads, everyone look at them because they're amazing. And it's now turned into something more serious than we ever thought it would be, which is very exciting. So yeah, that's kind of us.
Why do you think it picked up so quickly? Like, do you think there's a main reason? Really great at marketing, or?
I'm not really sure. Well, it was originally just Liam, and then he got me on board after he asked me to direct one of the rehearsed readings, and of course I said yes. And I without realizing, well, it's because I spend my life on my phone and I know what works and I know what engages people. So I was happy to create posters, create some branding and things like that. So and from what people have said to us in conversation, they've said it looks very professional and like we've been an established business for ages, and which isn't the case yet. So I think that side of things has helped boost it. I also think the fact that we're in the situation we are, that a lot of graduates are missing out on their first jobs, not getting chance to audition for jobs, and just not be able to get out there in the flesh. We've created this safe space and encouraged everyone to join and get involved and offer their ideas as graduates. So I think, I think this graduating year, even before COVID, I think we had a lot of guts and I know myself, I'm one of those people where if I don't have an opportunity, I'm going to create it for myself and for other people, because we can. There's no excuse, like we can. And even in this circumstance, we're making opportunities, whether it be on Zoom, YouTube, sharing Instagram lives, there's ways of going about it all. So I think that's why it kicked off.
Well, I can totally understand that. Coming from, well, literally joined this page, so this is the car crash page for anyone that's joined from your guys' side. Obviously Car Crash Productions, we run, primarily we were just like a fringe based company. Like we would run performances at the Fringe every year, and that would be our kind of pinnacle thing. And back in 2016, I was still a studying at the time, and I decided to join the company and actually be in production. And since then, I've just kind of joined and joined and joined. And it was only this year that we've kind of decided that, obviously, with everything going on, it is important for there to be like an online platform for not just people who are graduating, but all the levels. So I think that's why I kind of thought that we were a great pairing to tie in with one another, because not only are you guys really focusing on the graduates, but it makes sense to pair with a company that are like, we're filtering all the people that will be eventually. But yeah, it's just been fantastic, and we've kind of built that we didn't think we'd build to, and it's just because there's a need for it right now. There's such a need for people that are like, I miss theatre, or I miss classes, or like, it's really silly for me because I graduated in 2018, so I've been obviously in the industry for 2 years now, but I can honestly say that there was nothing that my heart went out to all the 2020 graduates, because like, I've got friends who have had showcases, who have had like meetings with agents cancelled, like all these different things, flipped it, and they've turned it on its head and made it so positive, and they've overcome all of these different, fantastic.
Yeah.
So we've had lots and lots of questions asked in our little box, so I'll bring it up so that we can answer them together. Okay, so what can alumni do to help other graduates?
I think just offer, I mean, a lot of them are already doing this, offer their advice, whether it be through DMs or a Q&A type thing, because everyone's experience is very different. Sometimes people go straight into a job, some people don't, and some people, you know, one thing I always say is it's not a race. So how can you can't compare yourself from one grad to another. So I think just the alumni can just let people know that it isn't a race, and that if somebody has advice, they can be there to talk to them. And I mean, if they get inundated with DMs, obviously, there's only so much you can do, but maybe they could, if say someone's in a video of them singing, maybe give it a share. It's so effortless, just giving it a share. Yeah, that's as far as alumni performers go, because some have a lot of power in this industry, but some just have a following themselves. So just sharing and offering support wherever, really. It doesn't have to be groundbreaking, just a little acknowledgement here and there, because at the end of the day we want to see ourselves as equals to them. So
as a base for 2020 grads, do you think that from this and after building this page, you guys have set up like a pathway kind of for people to like speak to, I don't know, anyone that's been involved, or like casting directors or agents? Like, do you feel like there's been a kind of relationship set up that people can reach out to?
There has, definitely, and even if people do it through me and Liam, that's fine. That's kind of what we wanted to get out of this, that people feel like they could create this little family, this network of grads. I mean, me and Liam didn't even know each other before any of this, so we've created our own little family, little network base where we can offer advice between each other, but then also some of us may know this person, or somebody else may know that person. So, can I just ask a question? We've created this little spider's web of contacts, and it's been very helpful so far, and I just hope it stays this helpful and open.
Yeah, totally with you. How can graduates seize the moment to make their own work? Do you have any tips on making?
I think just go with your gut. One thing that, and I always have to remind myself, is if you're not doing something, that's not a bad thing. Sometimes you just need to take things at your own pace, and if now's not the time to write the next Broadway hit, then it's not. Just look at things that inspire you. Have a look at whatever. I mean, I'm not I'm not qualified in design or posters or, you know, graphic design or anything like that, but that in itself is creative, and I'm enjoying that a lot. Same with directing. It's something I've never done, but now I'm doing that, and I'm co-founding a business. You know, you can make your own work in multiple ways. It doesn't mean you have to write a play. It doesn't mean you have to write a song. Find what it is that you enjoy doing, and only do it if you enjoy it. Don't force yourself to do something if it's just creating more stress than it's worth. And again, have conversations with people. Say you want to start writing your own poetry, for example. Ask somebody, oh, what inspires you? How do you get started? You know, baby steps. Just try something. If it doesn't work out, just put it in the background for a bit. You can always come back to it. And, you know, don't worry about seizing the moment, because sometimes the moment isn't there to be seized. Just take things at your own time, and when you do get that spark, grab it and
Run
do
with
as
it.
much as you want with it. Yeah.
Do you think there's going to be, like, so obviously after everything with the coronavirus, so when we go back to normal, when that day comes, do you think there'll be like a specific trend as such? Do you think there'll be like we all laugh because obviously we are a Fringe-based company, and we're talking about, oh my god, how many coronaviruses the musical are we going to have at next year's Fringe, like type of thing. But do you think it'll be a specific trend, as in, do you think it'll be like quite actor muse, or do you think that people, while using this lockdown time to learn a new instrument, to learn how it, I'll confess, I was trying to learn how to juggle, and I still can't do it. I've tried. What it is, I can juggle two, but then when it gets to the third one, I just can't.
I can't even do two. I can barely catch a ball.
Something within me can't let it go. But I digress. So yeah, do you think there's like going to be any trends? Like, should people be learning guitar? Should be like...
I think trend wise, I think there's going to be plenty of new writing, which is fantastic and about time. I also think there'll be I think there will be smaller productions. Smaller venues will become more popular, or, you know, I think, what am I trying to say? I think there's going to be more carefully crafted work that's very personal to people. I think, honestly, I think online productions and things will keep going, will thrive. I mean, we've proven that we can do it now, so why stop here? And regards like other big shows and stuff, like, I think they'll just want things to get everyone in, happy, joyous, none of these tear jerkers. I mean, there probably will be, because everyone loves a tear jerker, but I think, you know, I also think there's going to be less divide between you're a musical theatre graduate, you're an acting graduate, you're an acting muso graduate. I think there's going to be a lot more of, well, we're all in the same boat. We've just learnt that we're all in the same boat. I think there's going to be a lot more union.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm very excited to see what's happening.
How we think that it'll be all like your classics that come back, you know, those like really like your Hairsprays. Like, I think Hairspray will come back because everyone loves Hairspray. It brings so many people together. Everyone loves a wee...
Yeah.
Like, all these big ones, all these family friendly ones, like the Lion King will probably do another spout, because everyone loves like a Lion King. The kids can get involved, all of this kind of thing. And then we also think that there will be a lot more like one woman or one man plays or musicals, because it's literally going to be the most socially distanced that I think any show could possibly be.
Yeah.
So that's also a thing that we think is going to happen, which is great. I've never personally seen a one person show, but I think it would be something. So we are currently writing a one person play for the Fringe, and it's something that we've never even thought about, so it's quite hard to know how the audience will take it. When you're writing, when you want to like imagine it will like, okay, so the audience may laugh there, so we'll take a gap, or it's quite hard because I've never even seen something like that.
Yeah.
I think that will be that comes more and more into fruition. How can 2020 graduates utilise social media?
So just use it as a place to share whatever you like, as long as it's not going to offend anyone or anything like that. Use it as 9 times out of 10 it is a safe space, and if it's not, report those nasty people, because you don't need them, and block them or mute them if you're worried about them kicking off if you block them. One thing that we've learned is use all the platforms, because not everyone uses Instagram, not everyone uses Twitter. Some people solely use YouTube, for example. So if there's a video you've uploaded on Twitter, also upload it onto YouTube. If you've uploaded it onto Instagram, also upload it onto YouTube. Like Facebook, I don't use Facebook, but my mum does, and she loves to keep up with everything. So always have a Facebook page, either for yourself, because I mean, all graduates now, we're all self-employed, as it were, and we are our own business. So create a business page for yourself if you want, and to promote your singing, your dancing, your whatever it is you do. Hashtags, tag people in stuff, even if, you know, say you want to maybe get on board with an Instagram group that hold live classes. Tag them in your post so they can see it. Yeah, just you feel like you're being really annoying. Sometimes you are, but these are the things you got to do to get noticed and get followers, and even if like you could follow a bunch of people and then drop them a DM like, hi, hope you don't mind me following you, this is what I have, blah, 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 this is who I am, hope, please take a look at my account and have a follow. It's just be nice and honest and open, and it can often work in your favor. So social media is great. Sometimes it's not, but as long as you offer an open, safe space, often what you will get back.
I think that having your own limits is also impossible. Is also important. I meant to say, having your own limits so that you're not like fixated on the amount of followers that you have, or the amount you get on a certain video of you singing, or certain things like that. Like, I think it's important to mention that the difference between someone getting 150 likes on a video of them singing and 3 likes on them of them singing is nothing. Like that, it doesn't make you any less of a performer because you get 3 likes in comparison to the 100. Make you any less, or you should know your own worth and know that you are good enough to be whatever that you want to be.
Yeah, 100%.
Important. We deal with a lot of young people, and we've been kind of trying to instill into them that obviously social media is fantastic, it's great, however, know your own boundaries, know your own limits. Don't like something, unfollow it. If you feel like you're uncomfortable with the way someone portrays themselves, just unfollow them. Or I think it's everything with coronavirus and like all the Black Lives Matter campaign and everything like that has kind of made people more aware of what they're saying. Definitely don't think that's a bad thing on social media. For people to become more aware, it just means that the platforms have become, I don't know, a lot friendlier, a lot cleaner, like a lot to be a part of.
And don't be afraid to unfollow people. Don't be afraid to mute people. Follow accounts that make you happy and feel positive. Don't feel like, oh well, this friend, just because I'm following them, some of the things they say make me feel uncomfortable, but if I unfollow them, will I lose a friend? Like, you, at moments like these, you've got to think about yourself, because you're on social media because you have chosen to go onto social media. No one's forcing you. So therefore, what you take in needs to be down to you. So
what fab theatre companies like Car Crash, so if you haven't guessed, Tom is our director. So what fab theatre companies like Car Crash do support graduates? Obviously Car Crash and the Grad Fest, but do you know of any other
So we are currently working with the Grey Area, who encourage and promote and produce new writing, musical theatre in particular, I believe. And we're working with those guys at the minute to find new writing, new musicals that we can workshop with graduates, because graduates are so keen, so enthusiastic, as most people in the industry are. But you know, they want to do people's work justice. So we're reaching out to these writers and saying, look, what work have you got that you'd like us to source graduates for you to workshop and rehearse? They've been fantastic. I think that majority of companies do support graduates, but because they're not solely focused on them, they've also got to think about everyone else. Because, you know, we are all in this together, and although we are graduates, we are now in this industry. We are professionals. So, you know, all companies, I don't think anyone is dismissive of a grad. I don't think they look at them and go, they're a grad. I mean, we had an interview with Andrew Wright, and he was saying how he will employ at least 2 grads in all of his productions, because, you know, a grad has to get the first job, and it creates a nice, he was saying how it creates a balance in the room. There's people who've been doing it for years, and then there's the enthusiastic grad who's there like buzzing and getting ready, and, you know, like, yeah, if grads didn't get their first job, they'd never progress from there. So yeah, everyone is supportive of each other. You've got to be, otherwise this industry would be miserable to work in.
You obviously, you all come from a different school. Obviously, there's people that come from the same school, but moving forward, do you have, obviously you'll be loyal to your own school, but do you have like, would you recommend, obviously, I don't know if you can understand, but I am Scottish, so
What?
I know people from by surprise. So obviously, from being someone from way up north, it sometimes, it's quite a good talking point, because it sometimes comes as a kind of a barrier for people from like way up north, obviously, because we have to travel all the way down for auditions and things like that. You happen to know of anywhere that's quite good for like regional auditions, or anywhere that's quite good for offering support? Or
I don't personally, not off the top of my head, but one thing I will say is we were working with drama schools from all over the country, and it's so nice, because sometimes, yes, and they mentioned how there is that London barrier, and it's like, well, no, we're all in this together. And I know Manchester is booming with Media City and stuff like that. So I mean, I've not experienced auditions other than in London, but also that's the beauty of all these online auditions, doing self-tapes, because you can do it from anywhere. I mean, I had an audition, a self-tape through for something in Germany, and I was like, what? I you know, it doesn't matter where I'm from. It could have been anyone, because obviously it could have been anyone, because I was auditioning for something in Germany. So, you know, I think that is such a bonus with these online auditions. I know it's better if you're in the room, but sometimes, you know, you can get what you need from a self-tape, 100%. So yeah, I'm sorry I can't offer more advice there, but
do you think there's like a to-do list for a grad? Like, do you think there's obviously, if you don't have an agent, obviously your to-do list might be slightly different. So obviously, do you think Spotlight is a necessity? Do you think that looking at necessity, like all these different, so what would your typical to-do list for grads or for?
So I would suggest, I mean, I know you have to pay for Spotlight, but it's great because that is where you get casting breakdowns that you can submit yourself for if you don't have an agent. But I would try and contact agents. And again, it's not a race to get one, but having one is fantastic because you can work as a team to get you work. They will promote you and push you and try and get you as many auditions as you can. You've got to look for an agent who, it depends what you're looking for. Do you want them to be like your best mate? Do you want it to be a definite business partnership? So yeah, sort your spotlight, get a spotlight, and make sure your page is beautiful. Don't lie on it. The amount of times I've been tempted to be like, yeah, I can speak French. I can't speak French. There's other casting websites, but you know, sometimes things can be a little shady. You can't guarantee how legit things are, and the last thing you want is to get yourself in trouble. Spotlight, yes. Talk to agents. There's agents all over the country, all over the world. So even if you are based wherever, there'll be somebody there on your side wanting to help you. Get your rep sorted, because, which I'm so guilty of. That's if you're going in for singing auditions. But even if you're an actor, it's really great to have kind of a very simple base of songs. So if it's were to say, "You've got a song," you can go, "Yeah, of course I do." Like a legit song, something from an old time musical, a contemporary song. Sometimes they want folk songs. Maybe have a folk song or an acoustic pop song. Sort those out. I was going to say monologue, but I've never been asked for a monologue, and I hope they don't, because I don't know any monologues. Just make sure that you know what you want to offer to the industry. It doesn't have to be one set thing, but just be polite. Understand that you are a business and you're selling your business, which is you, and be confident and proud of the product. And also get good headshots. Or at least headshots that show who you are, show your face gorgeously, because they're really, really important. But you don't have to spend hundreds and thousands of pounds on them. You can find there's some fantastic, and again, regional photographers about, and you know, as long as they're showing their best you, it doesn't matter who's taken them. So yeah.
I remember watching a live Q&A with Pearson Casting, and they were talking about how someone had sent in a gorgeous headshot, and they were like, "Wow, that's amazing, we love that, let's get them in." And the person that walked into the room literally looked nothing like their headshot. So like the headshot, like, I can't remember what they said, but like it was like, let's say blonde hair, blue eyes, like quite long blonde hair, and then the next person that walked into the room, she had like a short cropped bob, and it was like bright pink, and they were like,
yeah,
like, when did you get these headshots taken? She was like, "Oh, I just changed my hair." They were like, "You can't do that." It was just,
you've got to commit, and if you do want to do something drastic to your hair, then you have to realistically get new shots, because I mean, if your hair is here and then suddenly there, it completely changes your face. Me, for example, my headshots, my hair is here and now it's here. I mean, that's not too ground shattering, but you really have to think about it, and and it's little things like just having really neutral makeup. Style your hair as you would style your hair. Don't go to the hairdressers and be like, "I'd like a bouffant bun," etc., and then you never be able to recreate that yourself. Just look like yourself. And it doesn't matter if you like, it doesn't matter if you don't look like you could be on the cover of Vogue, because you know, you don't want it overly edited. You don't want to be covered in fake tan if you never wear fake tan. There's nothing wrong with fake tan, but if it's not what you usually look like, just don't do it. Yeah. Just look like yourself. You're all beautiful.
what advice have you got to graduating technicians and stage management students?
Okay, so I can only speak from experience with the Grad Fest, but we wanted to get some technicians and stage management students involved, because at the end of the day, we're all in the same field, whether you're on stage or in the wings. Try contacting people who are doing either online things, or hopefully they're approaching you or reaching out. We had some in our rehearsed readings, we had some stage management and technician students cueing sound effects and sharing screens, which, I mean, they're probably overqualified for that, but it's just lovely to get people involved and them practicing their skills and offering their skills. Try writing. Writing is fantastic, even if it's an email or an actual real life letter. We all love a letter. Write out to companies offering, saying what you do, what you're qualified in, and if you'd love to get involved. If you don't get a reply, that's not a bad thing. People might just be rushed off their feet. But just let people know who you are, where you're based, where you can go to, where you're willing to travel to. And again, it's just sharing. This industry is all about getting to know people. Have a business card. My God, I have a business card, because it's all very well someone typing your number into their phone and then forgetting what your name is. So you just kind of, a person with brown hair who I met at this event. Okay, that's what they're saved as. Have business cards. When you email people, have a gorgeous little signature at the bottom saying who you are, what you specialize in, your email address, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Let me think what else. Yeah, just contact people, because again, once upon a time, me and Liam had no idea who to contact, RE, stage management and technician and stuff. So we just talked to graduates and said, can you get this message out to all your other graduating stage management friends? And once you get the ball rolling there, it comes flooding in. So yeah, practice your craft through Zoom.
Through Zoom, yeah. I think that's all of the, unless anyone watching has another question. Just wanted to pick up on there. So when you said that you wanted to get the ball rolling, so did you just start with speaking to your friends, I guess, because all of you...
Yeah, so I mean, at Arts Ed, there is no stage management course. It's all performing. So Liam spoke to somebody or some people from the GSA stage management course, and they, as a result, they put some other people in contact and stuff like that. I mean, a lot of theatres will have their own in-house staff. So 9 times out of 10, you often don't have to approach, for something as small as like a cabaret, for example, you don't have to approach people to get in. But it's still fantastic to have contacts, because if you do find yourself in the opportunity where, say you're a director and you do get to pick your whole team, it's so nice to have people that or even if you've just spoken to, or just, it's just nice to become acquainted with people, because you never know when you might need to work with somebody, or they might want to work with you. The tables can turn in that way. So just be nice and have conversations, and especially now when we've got so much time. Well, I, for example, unemployed, have so much time to have conversations with people. Offer them up, and sharing is caring. Or as well, if say you're a set designer or a costume designer, you could create your own Instagram page, for example, and sit down and say, right, if I was to costume this show, this is a completely made up scenario, but if I were to costume this show, what would I do? And they share their designs. As soon as you get some stuff out there, people will notice it, and people will remember your name or start following you. It's just a way of, it's just the same as somebody posting singing videos, in my opinion. It's just a way of going, look at what I can do. I'm not doing this for attention. I'm just doing it because I love it. So here's some things I've done. Just be proud and confident with your skills and talent, and make people look at you, is all I'll say.
Absolutely. So on that uplifting note, I just wanted to say, if anyone who is watching has either not been involved in the Grad Fest or not involved in Car Crash, I'm sure I'll speak for both of us when I say slide into the DMs, drop us a little DM, and we would absolutely love to work with you. So yes, thank you so much for taking the time out your day to have a little chat.
Worries. No prob.
And I wish you all the best for the future, and see
you too.
Hope to see you in all of this.
I'm sure we will. I say this to everyone, this industry is tiny. Well, it doesn't feel it, but it is. It's a small world. Our paths will cross. We're all friends.
Thank you so much.
No worries. See you soon. Bye.